In this episode, I go over some of my favorite pedals, and thank you for all of you guys. We just hit 3,000 subscribers. Stay tuned. What is up, you boys and girls? It's your boy Luis Torres, and thank you so much for getting me to 3,000 subscribers. I feel like I created this whole new family of musicians and guitarists globally. It's funny, most of you guys are just like, yo, I watch your channel because you're funny, or you remind me of my best friend, or you remind me of my stupid brother. But in the end, it's just, bro, if you can see me and you having tacos and tequila, then hell yeah. That's what we're always going to do. If you come up to upstate New York, and we'll go and hit up La Fiesta in Clifton Park, New York. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for getting me to 3,000 subscribers. I didn't get to 3,000. You guys are at 3,000. To me, that is everything. And 3,000 feels like a million subscribers. Like, I think it's just crazy. Like, you don't understand. Like, I legit remember when I had 20 and thought that I would never even get to 100. So, you guys are absolutely awesome. And thank you so much for leaving me comments, for messaging me, for being absolutely awesome. There's so many of you guys that I completely look at, and you're like my brothers, like Nick Williams, like Justin McKinnon, like Val in Italy. There's just so many absolutely incredible guys that, Joe Hartel, like Shawn Davis, like people that I would never have met in my entire life. You know why? Because I'm a wedding photographer. So I would never, for the most part, meet you guys. And if you were at a wedding that I was capturing, guess what? You're probably a guest, and you're just like, dude, where's the booze? And I would never end up taking your photos unless you're the guy getting married. In that case, I probably know who you are already, and that's a different story. As a matter of fact, there's actually a few of my grooms who are musicians who do follow me on this channel. So thank you guys for being awesome. Today's episode, I wanted to go over a few things. So to start is I wanted to go over just some of my all-time favorite pedals. And these are just the ones that I still have. There's certain pedals like the Lone Wolf Audio Burning Spirit that I absolutely love. I don't have that pedal anymore. There's just, tons of different pedals that I wish I still had, and because they would be on this list. So I'm going to go over what I think and look at more along the lines as a preamp pedal than anything else. So one is the Dracaris. This pedal, if you've never used it, it's one of those pedals that it's just beast. If beast can ever be a beast, it would be this pedal. It's made by Wampler. They're known for making incredible pedals, including the Abasi Pathos and tons of other pedals that they are just outsourced to create. And this one, as far as its gain stage, it has a tight and an open option. So in the end, you can feasibly dictate which direction you want this pedal to go to. If you want it to be a little thicker or you want it to be a little tighter, literally just in one package. So this pedal, it's funny. At one point I was just like, I should just sell it. And I was like, nah, I think I would end up regretting it, and trust that those are lessons that I've learned and realized, like the Lone Wolf Audio Burning Spirit, like there's certain pedals that I'm like, certain amplifiers, I'm like, what did I do? So this was one of those pedals that was almost on the chopping block, but because I had previously learned my lesson, I was like, let me not. So that is one. The KSR series. I cannot stress that this is my all-time favorite preamp pedal. So much so that I have two of them. And this was a lesson learned also, where I had one series and just kind of found myself not really using it as often. What I ended up doing really was I switched from pedal rigs and demoing all of those to just getting back to amplifiers, and then realized, man, I shouldn't have gotten rid of it. So thank you to Kyle. You know, he ended up posting this military KSR series, and you know, he was just like, hey, I think I'm going to create a new link and put all of these custom colored, painted series pedals. And I immediately reached out to him like, yo, bro, before you do that, can you sell me this one? I'll pay you right now. And he's like, sure. How about if I sell it to you for XYZ? And I'm like, done. And then I just PayPal'd him. So I got this one. And then shortly thereafter, one of my boys was just like, yo, what's up? Yo, do you see the series that's on Reverb right now? And so I looked, and there was a series that was being sold by Fluff, Ryan Bruce, in the West Coast. And, you know, I had to make a few phone calls because I don't have a Reverb account, thanks to Mike Fortin and his stupid attorney. So I kind of know people now, which is weird. So I reached out to a few people. I'm like, yo, what's up, what's up, what's up? Reach out to Fluff for me. And then shortly thereafter, I ended up getting an email from Fluff. He's like, bro, you want it? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, this is my PayPal account. Bam, got this one. So if you guys get the chance, I cannot stress, legit, seriously, bro, yo, I swear, dude, if you get a series, yo, I just got goosebumps thinking about it. You are going to sit back and say, how is that crazy tone coming out of a pedal? And I will add that here I am with the series, and I'm not even talking about plugging this into the MT15 and running it through the power amp section that has 6L6 tubes in it. I'm talking about using one of my other pedals that I will go over immediately after this, which is the Electro Harmonix 44 Magnum. You know, here is another pedal. This is a power amp that's 44 watts. And this powering this is a monster. Yo, and I'm not talking about for practice. I'm talking about take it live. Like, yo, you can play on stage with this, run it out of any, 412 cabinet with great speakers, and you're in beast mode, bro. People would be, guitarists, of course, we're always watching bands, and I'm talking about people going to be like, yo, where's this guy's head? And it's, this is just what you have on your pedal board, maybe a boost with that if you feel like it, which you don't need it. And that's it. And you're done. Golden, bro. Golden, like it's crazy. Okay, so these two pedals are incredible. The 44 Magnum is a power amp that's made by Electro Harmonix in New York City. And I ended up reaching out to Electro Harmonix, and funny enough, and I don't know if you've caught some of my old videos, but I sent what I, to this day, still consider to be the best email I've ever sent to a company in history. And I worked on Wall Street for 13 years, and trust, I've sent a lot of corporate, very, where you have to be very precise with the language that you're using, where nothing is ambiguous in any way, shape, or form. And I made the email really fun. And, I think at the time I may have had, about 1,000 subscribers. They basically told me to go fuck myself, which I thought was funny. And I was just like, okay. So I went ahead and bought it anyway and love it. And I still push it, even though they basically told me to F off and that I suck and that I should be a better YouTuber maybe one day down the road. So maybe this is one, someday down the road now. So I don't know. But that being said, this pedal is still a killer. I still have my more Baby Bomb 30, which is 30 watts. I just think that this overall, it's just more bang for your buck and it's louder. And who doesn't like louder? So, all right, so let me put this down. Oh my God. The Boss Parametric EQ. If you've never used this, you're going to have to click on the link below and go watch the video that Shawn Davis made, truck driver Shawn, of this pedal, where he was just like, yo, son, I don't think this is going to work. And listen, I thought exactly the same thing when I first got it, but I had watched a few videos. It was just like, okay, this is basically what Dimebag Darrell used on his Randall ES, what the heck was it? RG 100 ES back in the day, but he had the Furman rack version of this, and then Boss was just like, we're gonna make that into a pedal form. Bam! This is what they made. The the PQ4, which is basically the same name as the Furman parametric EQ, because it is known as the Furman PQ4. If you guys ever get the chance, and it's kind of fairly expensive, it's about 160, and then keep in mind that this thing's probably 20 years old, so it's 160 and it's expensive for something that's probably a little bit older than you guys. So, or a little younger than some of you guys. So if you get the chance and you find yourself face to face with a parametric EQ, get it. You're going to absolutely love it. I could never see myself selling this. It really is just a great pedal. So onward to the High Wind Dire Wolf. And this thing is an absolute killer pedal. This is the first version, and I absolutely love it because there's just so many different flavors, from boost to bite. You can go ahead and adjust the tone. You have blends, so you can blend the drive and the tone. So, how do you not like a pedal that has options? There's a reason why I absolutely love my Seymour Duncan 805 Overdrive, because it has more options than a regular Overdrive. So onward to the Seymour Duncan 805. See, I'm running it from one to the other. So this is a sick pedal. So this was my first introduction to an overdrive pedal that had a 3-band EQ, and literally every typical normal overdrive completely became the worst overdrives that I've ever used, which isn't really the case, but this is just options on top of options. So aside from having just the level and drive that every overdrive has, you're stuck with just a tone knob, and that's it. In this case, you have bass, mid, and treble that you can go nuts, go crazy, add bass, mid, cut stuff out. So for the most part, everyone tends to use level at max and drive either at 0 and use it as a clean boost, or like I do, I usually put it at 9 o'clock. But now it's literally just the 3-band EQ that I use to fine tune and dial in my tone. So instead of just having a wah, wah, single knob, wah, 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 now you have 3, and now you can go nuts. You like that? Wah, wah. Now, dude, this is my most coveted pedal. This is the Amp Tweaker Depth Finder that you will not find anymore because they stopped making it. I don't know why, but it was basically designed by James Brown, who is the circuit designer of the PV5150 and is now with Fender's EVH division. So I would assume that the next level of amplifiers are all going to be based on a design that James Brown will come up with. So this is literally resonance and presence. So if you have an amplifier that doesn't have a resonance and presence like my Laboga Mr. Hector, this I throw through the effects loop, absolute killer. You know what else this works well with? My 44 Magnum that only has volume and a bright, and that's it. Volume, hello, where's my EQ? Yes, you have it from the pedal. Bam. You throw these two together and it's sick. Okay, so now we have, you guys know me, you know me, and you know that I love Tony Pepper. Tony Pepper's out in New Zealand. So here is the Pepper's Dirty Tree. This I love, and what? I love this one so much, I have two. So yeah, this one is the newer one, which is SMD, and then this is the original. And I recently made a video just comparing the two, and they are, you know, basically exactly the same, which is good. And some people just thought that it would be so hugely different that you would be able to tell, and you can't. So, which is good. But again, I absolutely love my Dirty Tree. This is two pedals in one. It is literally the Fortin 33. So the DT, Dirty Tree, get it? 33, Dirty Tree. So, so up, and you have basically a Fortin 33 clone. Down is the TC Electronics integrated preamp section, and in that case, you get to use the level, high, and low with that. So yes, if you get the chance to buy a Pepper's Dirty Tree, go ahead and buy one. They are absolutely incredible. Tony is in New Zealand. I know, you sit back and you're like, they make things in New Zealand? Yes, and Tony is great. All right, so on to the VFE standout. This is a murderous weapon. This was introduced to me by my buddy Laurent, and he was like, yo, there's a secret weapon out there. And I'm like, what? What is it? And he's like, I can't tell you. I can't. But you're going to have to reach out to Christian Milano and see if he is okay with including you in the club featuring this new, or this underground dynamite of a pedal. So I reached out to Christian Milano, and I was just like, bro, talk to me. And he's like, oh, give me your address, I'll mail it to you. And he mails me the VFE standout. And he had the first version, which was the red model, or the red paint job, with the original just all red. And you know, I used it for one day and had to box it and ship it back to him because I was this close to just being that jerk that sends him an envelope with cash and just say, hey, I just bought your pedal. So, and that's not cool to do, you know? So I was just like, I need to get rid of this pedal ASAP because I instantly fell in love with it. And then was lucky enough to buy one, actually, no, the first one that I bought was the Henning. So if you guys have ever heard of Steve Henning, of Henning Amplification, he bought the remaining PCB boards and parts of VFE's standout when they were closing shop, and he made a bunch of these pedals. So I ended up buying a Henning standout, but it was his, I can't say it was his interpretation. It was literally, you know, I think he had mentioned, or I had read that it just had a few components that were better than what were typically found in the original VFE. So that was my first one, and then ended up buying a red one, and then bought a white one, and then bought a green one. So I have 4 of them. So, that's how frantic I was with this pedal, that I fell in love with it and was just like, I just need to buy any that are out there, and just bought, literally, one would show up on Reverb or eBay and I would just instantly buy it. So, so this is just one, and I'm looking at the other ones over here. So if you get a VFE standout, you will not be disappointed ever, ever. This thing's an absolute monster. The Diezel Herbert, and it is not pronounced Diezel. That is the American version of saying the name of the company, but it is the owner's last name, and it is Diezel. Diezel. Say it with me. Diezel. So whenever someone says, oh, I just got a Diezel, I'm like, did he just say Diezel? Dude, Diezel is spelled with an S. Yo, learn something about vehicles. It's not Diesel. It's Diezel. Anyway, so yeah, so this is an overdrive, a preamp pedal. And dude, I mean, the fact that you can literally take this, run it through the effects loop of any of your amps, or even use it with an Electro Harmonix 44 Magnum, this is an absolute killing beast of a monster if there ever was one. I mean, it is ridiculously huge too. By comparison, this is a Boss, and you can see how much bigger it is. And as far as width goes, it's about, it's a little thicker. You can see the footprint that it has. I mean, it is literally a giant versus a little tiny pedal. But there's a lot going on in this Diezel Herbert. And, from my understanding, like legit people that have the Diezel Herbert head say that it's just so incredibly close to this $4,000 amplifier that, spending $200 on this, dude, all day long, and just run this thing through, even something like a Seymour Duncan Power Stage 170, or even the newer 200. Now, oh my God, the MXR 10-band EQ, let me tell you, so for ages, people were just like, bro, get an MXR 10-band EQ. Bro, get an MXR 10-band EQ. And I'm like, I don't need an EQ. What's up, son? I got amps. I got pedals. I don't need an EQ. Then I got an EQ and couldn't believe how many years I spent convincing myself that I did not need an EQ. Let me tell you, you need an EQ, but you don't run it through the front. You get the MXR 10-band EQ, you run it through your effects loop. That makes a world of a difference. That it is shocking how much of a difference there is running this same pedal through the front versus the effects loop. I mean, it's just night and day if there ever was one. And then, so if you ever get, the opportunity to get yourself, this is the newer silver model. They have the Kerry King model, which has kind of, a tattoo design, a tribal thing. And they also have the original black one. Any of those, dude, they all work fine. This one, the LEDs are bright blue and they will blind you. So if you have an MXR 10-band EQ, then you already know about the blindness. And actually a few people have taken little strips of electrical tape and just popped it on top of each one. So that way the LED isn't blinding you straight on, but you at least get to see it come out through the side. So get yourself an MXR 10-band EQ. And finally, where is it? Dude, I just had it. Where are you? Where are you? Why are you hiding? Yo, it's in my pocket. It's in, you just saw that live and I was just like, what's that in my pocket? This is my latest weapon. And it comes out of Germany. This is the Clearton Leachbringer. And this thing is so badass that I am going to be running this through my Bogner Uberschall Rev Blue, and I'll be using my Washburn Solar. So for all of you guys that constantly say Solar, only Ola pronounces it Solar. And then everyone is like, oh, Solar guitars. Bro, are you serious right now? Go look at the sun. Oh, that's all solar. Solar panels, solar wind. You don't say solar panels. Are you serious right now? Yo, I laugh all the time. So I will be using my Washburn Solar guitar with this Cleartone Leach Bringer, which is an integrated preamp, and it is sick. So let me go plop this in, and I'll let you guys hear it through the Bogner. Okay, so I'm gonna run this without the with the pedal off first. Then I will activate it, and then I'll just, move the dials around a little bit so you can hear how it gets thicker, how it adds bottom, and you get all these different flavors with it. So let me just switch over. All right, that's on standby. Standby, did you hear that? It's on standby. You know what you hear? Zero. That's what a standby is supposed to do. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? So there you have it, just a bunch of my favorite pedals, and my new favorite amp. And it's been a while since I've used my solar guitar, so I figured I'd pull it out and, crack through it for a little bit. So guys, hey, again, thank you so much. We just got to 3,000 subscribers. Let's try to get to 30,000. That's going to be hard. So why don't we just try to go for 3,500? I would be happy with 3,500. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you for allowing me to reach 3,000 subscribers. This is because of you guys. I get so much funny, hysterical feedback that I'm just like, I need to go ahead and make more videos. So you guys encourage me to just do more and to be silly and to be myself and, just to buy more amps, even though I'm basically going to the poorhouse. Not really, but it gets expensive after a while. But legit, I sit back and I'm like, man, do I really need another amp? I'm like, I really don't. but I kind of have to get it so it's at least even, which means I need to get at least 2 amps because I already had the EVH and I had the KSR, but then the Paul Reed Smith was up there. So I have, so I may actually have space for another layer, but I don't know. Maybe I'll refrain from doing that. But the KSR looks like it needs something on top of there, even though there's 2 right now. That's the PV Piranha 6505, and that is the Hot Tone Heart Attack 5-watt head, which is an absolute little killer monster. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the absolute best, and as usual, I will talk to you guys soon.